What if your digital notes weren't just a place to store stuff, but a real strategic partner that actually helps you think? Today, we're going to go beyond the whole idea of a second brain, which you may have heard of, and explore what's next, the second mind. Let's dive in and see how this could totally change the way you work.
So, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You have this brilliant idea in a meeting, you read a fantastic, game-changing article, but then later on, when you actually need that info, poof, it's gone. It's lost in a dozen different apps, buried in bookmarks, or just forgotten. And look, for a business, this isn't just a little frustrating. That's literally lost intellectual property walking out the door.
Yeah, for a lot of us, our digital life is, well, it's a mess. We've got notes scattered all over the place. Those amazing insights from articles and videos just vanish. And you can never, ever find that one crucial link right when you need it most. All this just leads to these clunky manual workflows that just kill your momentum. There has to be a better way. And the solution, it really starts with a powerful idea. So before we even get into the tool itself, we've got to understand the concept that kicked this whole thing off, the second brain. Okay, so this idea was really popularized by Tiago Forte. A second brain is basically a trusted digital system that lives outside your own head. Think of it like an extension of your mind, but one that's specifically built to capture, organize, and connect all the information you come across every single day. And this slide right here, this is the key difference. Our own brains are incredible, right? They're fantastic for coming up with new ideas. But let's be honest, they are terrible at storage. They forget things. A second brain, on the other hand, is like a perfect, reliable vault. It's scalable, it's searchable, and it's built for one thing, storage. This frees up your actual brain to do what it does best, think. The whole method is actually pretty simple. First, you capture key ideas from everywhere. Then you organize them in a way that just makes sense to you. Now, the magic really happens when you start to connect related ideas. You start to build this web of knowledge. And finally, you can retrieve anything you need instantly whenever you need it. Okay, so that philosophy is powerful stuff, but it's really just the beginning. How do we go from what is essentially a digital filing cabinet to something that's truly a strategic workspace? Well, this is where the idea of a second mind comes into play, and it's powered by a whole new kind of tool. This quote, this gets right to the heart of it. Most AI tools, they're like talking to someone with short-term memory loss, right? They start fresh every single time. A strategic workspace, the kind we're talking about, is built on persistence. It remembers your project. It learns your goals. It keeps the context. For a business, that means the AI actually gets smarter and more valuable the more you use it. So here's a look under the hood. This second mind is built on 6 interconnected engines. The best way to think about it is like an assembly line for your ideas, a system that takes you all the way from raw info to a polished, finished product. All right, let's take a quick spin through these 6 engines and see how they all work together. We're going to focus on how each one can seriously upgrade your workflow, whether it's for your personal projects or for your entire business. Everything kicks off right here with the knowledge engine. This is where you build the foundation for any project. You're essentially creating a specialized little second brain perfectly tailored to whatever you're working on. And the benefits are immediate. You can just drop anything in, PDFs, audio from a meeting, even video files, and the AI just processes it for you. No more typing things out by hand. I mean, imagine just dropping in a YouTube link from a competitor's webinar and getting an instant summary. That's a massive time saver for any team. So once you've got your knowledge base built, the next step is to give the AI some direction. This is the context engine, and it's where you get to control the AI's personality and its output. It's where you basically become the director of the whole show. And this is absolutely crucial. You are in command. You tell the AI who to be. Should it be a skeptical investor looking over a financial report, or maybe an empathetic teacher explaining something to a new hire? You also choose the format, so you don't just get a giant wall of text, you get a ready-to-use slide deck, or an email, or a script. But what about those moments when you just get stuck? We've all been there. That's where the intelligence tools come in. They're designed specifically to help you blast through those creative blocks and just build momentum. So if you're just staring at a blank page, the Guide Me feature acts like your creative partner. It'll just ask you some simple questions to help you build out your strategy. Or you can just hit the auto draft button and boom, it instantly creates a summary of all your files.
It's all about getting you moving forward.
All right, now we're at the factory. This is where all that knowledge, all that context, and all that strategy you've been building comes together to create something brand new. This is the final stage of our assembly line.
And the generator does more than just write. The artist feature can create a custom image for your presentation that perfectly matches the vibe of your project. And this is critical for businesses. You control the data. You can turn the web search off to work only with your private, sensitive files, or you can flick it on to fact-check your work against the live internet. Total control. And finally, once you've created your masterpiece, you need to store it somewhere safe and be able to find it easily. That's the job of the last two engines, the vault and communication. They make sure your ideas are both protected and ready to go.
Okay, this is a huge deal. The backup and restore feature means your entire knowledge base can live right on your own computer, not on some random cloud server. This is so important for privacy and for something called data sovereignty, which is just a fancy way of saying you own and control your own data. And with semantic search, you can just ask a question like, hey, what were the takeaways from our Q3 sales meeting? And it will find the answer instantly.
So when you put all these engines together, what's the real impact on your day-to-day work? Well, it's about giving your workflow a set of genuine superpowers.
So here are the 3 big takeaways that really set this whole approach apart. First, project-based persistence. The tool becomes a true partner that gets smarter over time. Second, granular AI control. You're not just guessing with prompts anymore, you have a predictable, reliable process. And third, data sovereignty. You actually own and control your most valuable asset, your ideas.
This quote just sums it all up perfectly. This isn't about getting answers faster or writing docs more quickly. It's about designing a tool to help you ask better questions and ultimately to build smarter strategies for yourself and your business.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. For a moment, forget about just being more organized or a little more productive. What could you really create? What new business could you build? What complex problem could you finally solve? If your workspace was no longer just a bunch of tools, but a genuine strategic partner in your work.